Okay, well, we might have one or two other people join us, but we can go ahead and get started. This is the SPC meeting for June 22nd, and we are recording as usual. Guys, we'll be recording your presentation, and we'll share that with the community a little later on. Um, there aren't any action items to review this week, so we can get right into it. Let me just make a note of who we have with us. And as you can see, we have some special guests today. So we've got Melvin Cruz and Miguel Rivera to talk to us about work they're doing in Honduras. And I'd like to turn it over to you guys, give a quick introduction of yourselves, and then you can go ahead and share your screen, and we'll have some time for questions afterwards.
So thank you, Jeremy. We're really glad to have this opportunity to share with you guys what we're doing all around this past 2 years. We want to focus on meeting what up to this year on 2019.
Melvin, we're having a little hard time hearing you. Can you get a little closer to the mic or turn your volume up a little?
I do. Can you guys hear me better now?
That's better.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I was saying that thanks for the opportunity. Our goal for today is to share with you guys what have we been up to during this first semester of the year. We feel that the projects that we have been involved in, what we're heading to right now, can really help other people around the community too, and will hopefully open the doors to make some collaborations and work on some ongoing projects together. So just a little presentation of myself. I'm Melvin Cruz, as Jeremy said. I'm an electrical mechanical engineering student currently at RIT. I work down here in Rochester, New York, with John Schull in the e-NABLE lab, and we've been all year long been working with some students from charter high schools, developing some curricula under the e-NABLE purposes. So develop devices, do some research through it, teach kids about 3D printing and what its importance around what we do to help the community. So I also collaborate with e-NABLE Guala in Honduras, in which we have been working on some ongoing projects within giving prosthetic devices, education, and technology development. So towards that, I give the word to my friend Miguel, who is currently in Honduras, and he's going to talk to you a little bit more.
Hello, thank you. As Melvin told you, my name is Miguel, and I'm here in Honduras. I have my own company based on 3D printing and education about 3D printing and about engineering related to 3D printing. I'm also a volunteer in Guala, and we have been developing some profiles for printing a new model, which is the Kuwau, and developing this process of 3D printing, making it simpler. And well, that's my base role in Guala, the part of printing the prosthetics.
So Craft 3D and Guala merged into a co-work effort around last year, looking on opportunities on how can we maximize the resources that we had, and also work around the opportunities that we're sharing in our country. We saw that the e-NABLE philosophy could apply. It's applied differently, and for us, it was not just towards giving prosthetic devices to people, but also towards teaching them more about how the technology could help their lives in different matters, not just around the hand. Other nonprofits, and see how can we join forces towards working towards a common goal, which is at the end develop people's life in better ways than what they are right now. So today we want to focus on two programs that we developed during this first semester. One was developed in Tegucigalpa, which is the capital of our country, and it was focused on making 9 devices to people that lost their limbs due to immigrate. As some of you may know, there's a huge rate of immigration from Central American countries to USA, and this is mostly done through a long journey that involves crossing many different other countries on the way to get to USA. And part of this trip, one of its most dangerous steps is getting into a train and not paying a fee for it. Actually, just actually hopping in on it, like on the top of. And it's one of the most dangerous things that can happen. Not because it's hard to get into on top of it, but because it's a really long journey, and people usually fall asleep when they're on top of it. They fall from the train, and that either results in three case scenarios. Um, they make it, which is the best. They fall of it, and they lose a limb, sadly. And the third one, I think I don't even need to explain it, which is the fatality one, right? And between those second and third scenarios is which most of the people are finding themselves since long time ago. We've trying to meet these people on the second phase of it. The people who fell from it, lose a limb, and they are returned back to their country. So imagine the situation of these people. This is people that try to immigrate from their country because they were facing that situation, and this is due to many situations. Many, um, the situation is not that good in our country currently within many different aspects, but we saw these people as people that had a perspective, people that had an idea of being a better themselves. Maybe it wasn't the best one, but though they have this spirit of entrepreneurship, of looking for something better, of looking for better opportunities. So we decided to see that as an opportunity to help them, not something to judge them, which is something that usually happens in our country. And we decided to give them an opportunity. So just instead of giving them their devices, we took a group of 10 of them and we start working towards giving them the prosthetic device. But meanwhile, we did it. They were involved in the project, so they were side of being users. They were also makers that were making these devices for themselves. So at the end, we were teaching them tools that we hope will help us develop their own businesses, or at least help them, have this spirit of entrepreneurship, give them an opportunity. So we partnered with in this project with USAID. We worked with one of the first Fat Labs here on the country, here in Honduras in the country, and it was a nice opportunity to really partner with them because we adapted this lab really towards the experience that we have been having for the past 2 years. So we taught them what machines to buy, what machines not to buy, what was the best way to spend their resources, and this was their first capstone project with us. So as it developed, we really saw the impact that it had on people because aside from the fact that they were just being given this device, they really appreciate it because they were part of it. So it was nothing like just gave it to us. It was something that they appreciated because they feel part of. So they put some resource into it. And, the resource was not just simply money because they didn't have it really. The resource was their time, their experience, and the biggest one for us, their feedback. Knowing how does that device develop on them, how that device can be better, etc., etc. And well, as Miguel told you guys, for this project, it was we were doing a merge devices. We collaborated with Pop Paraguay. We've been working for at least 2 years now, and they helped us with the design, which is one of the biggest steps that I think our team that evolved this year. And Miguel is going to talk to you guys a little bit more about it. But we were doing a transition with both the Pop Paraguay and also the Kuau. So I think that's pretty much a little summary of it. I want to just now share with you guys my screen and show you a video that I think talks a lot more that I can talk to you guys about it. So it's just before showing it to you, I just feel that that's been one of our biggest projects this year, really, within giving these people an opportunity, to have a better chance of not just start again with activities with their hands, but also using this new technology that people all around the world are using. Awesome experience for us, for our team. And I wanted to mention also that this was one of the first biggest programs that our team in Tegucigalpa did. And it was a really a nice opportunity for all the team to be on the same level of expertise within the new processes that we were developing, and also seeing what new feedback there were upon this experience in which we deliver around 9 prosthetic devices the same day. And after the video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more what really is the importance of us of transitioning from giving just one device on a single event, and also giving giving a batch of them on the same time. So I'll go ahead and share my screen with you guys. So just I'm gonna go over to the e-NABLE Guala page in Facebook so I can show you the video. So let me start.
And John and Miguel, I muted you guys just to keep the background noise down, so feel free to unmute yourselves if you want to ask questions.
Okay. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so here we are. This is our Facebook page, and well, feel free to check it out whenever you guys have a time. But I'm gonna go over and show you the video. So just give me a second for this to load. Here it is. Fab Lab ECIT was the organization that we partner with. That is the Chamber of Commerce and Technology of Tegucigalpa.
Here are some results from the web.
Sorry, Google hopping in. And you can see. Sorry about that. Seems like the internet's a little bit slow. Here's a picture of 2 of our volunteers. This is Elena and Alicia. They're both biomedical engineers, and they're part of the head team of e-NABLE of Tegucigalpa. They help both with the fundraising, also with the educational part of it, and with the assembling part of our devices. So there's a picture of them working with the devices that they were going to be delivering during that event. And well, just as a little spoiler also, this is a GoFundMe campaign we're raising right now for Elena, in which she just currently got accepted to the MIT Healthcare Bootcamp that is going to be on August or late July, if I'm not wrong. And well, we're hoping to send her there. She was already accepted among a lot of different people in the world, and a project that she's going to be developing hopefully is going to be having a huge impact within the e-NABLE community, and also for us in Honduras. So feel free to check it out and to support her also. We will really, really appreciate it. And here should be, here it is. Here's the little video. So it's in Spanish, so I don't feel like I can put the sound of it, but I can.
Impulsan emprendimientos de.
I'll be translating it for you after it finishes.
La Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Tegucigalpa, CCIT, y el Gobierno de la República de Honduras impulsan emprendimientos de jóvenes inmigrantes y víctimas de violencia a través del uso de tecnología de impresión 3D, y se realiza la entrega de prótesis elaboradas con tecnología de fabricación digital.
Vamos a entregar 9 prótesis para 8 ensayos. Uno de ellos perdió las ambos. Sí, hoy estamos haciendo los ajustes para transformarle las piezas para que les quede bien, y así estamos haciendo modificaciones para que queden una prótesis más cómoda a los usuarios. Pero como ven, ya las prótesis ya están bien, ya agarran, tienen bastante fuerza, y ya hacemos pruebas para recogerlo y sí funciona bastante bien.
Este tipo de iniciativa apoya al logro de objetivos de desarrollo sostenible, como ser fin de la pobreza, trabajo decente y crecimiento económico, reduciendo de las desigualdades, promover sociedades justas, pacíficas e inclusive alianzas para lograr objetivos.
Me siento feliz por haber obtenido el proyecto de la prótesis. Ya teníamos como 5 meses de estar tras de este proyecto que nos hacía mucha falta. bueno, a mí el principal me hacía mucha falta mi prótesis, porque anteriormente tenía 11 años de tenerla, ya la tenía mala. Gracias a Dios me contacté con Walla y pude meterme en el proyecto de la prótesis.
El uso y acceso a esta prótesis está dirigido a jóvenes víctimas de violencia o migrantes retornados, quienes viven en condiciones de discapacidad producto de la violencia o incidentes en su intento al migrar. Sí.
El objetivo mío, pues, tratar de usarla, para usarla lo más que pueda, pues. Y este tiempo de Cámara de Comercio me dio una ayuda por 25,000 empiras de insumos. Gracias a Dios, a la vez, el negocio se lo tengo.
El acceso a una prótesis de calidad tendrá mejores oportunidades para reintegrarse laboralmente, además de recibir capital semilla para iniciar con su negocio. Este programa piloto marca la innovación y oportunidades para la juventud.
So, I think, as I told you guys, the video shows a lot visually, but I think I have 3 points that I want to point out from it, and one of them is that the aspect that I told you guys about what's the importance for us to be delivering these devices in batches instead of making them individually. Throughout this past 2 years, we've found out that, just have a really nice tour labs, and they receive their prosthetic device. They're all excited and everything, but yet they don't like to be in the spotlight when it comes to being delivered this device. So it's a thing that you have to really be careful of. We find out that we have to even be careful with what people do we invite to this delivery. So, for example, for us, we try not to invite press like newspapers or stuff like that, because let's be honest, sometimes they tend to be really, really awkward, you can say, or sometimes even a little bit not cool. Let's say it that way. So what we try to do is that rather we have a cameraman or somebody that it's more friendly or affluent with the program and make him take the pictures. And what we do is that we do a little press release after the event, and we maintain this nice environment during the delivery. And for real, that for us, that's it is. A huge part, a big important part of the device is the process of making it of it and everything. But one really important part of it also is the delivery. So we try to make this really nice experience for everyone, in which we invite our team, their family, and really have a nice time together. And within the aspect of having many people, we find out that people feel really like in a community when they saw other people with their same condition, or that are about to start that same journey that they are within a prosthetic device. So they feel that they are also part of the bigger, than just that it's not just themselves that are going to be handling or struggling with all the new challenges that this prosthetic device is going to bring for them, but rather that they can, hey, give a call to this other guy or ask him, hey, how is it going for you? Or ask him, hey, how does that happen to you? Or whatever, So we've been, this is our second time we've been doing this model in which we deliver prosthetic devices all like within at least 5, 3, or up to 8, which is our biggest number so far. And it's been really, really, we've been getting a really nice feedback, and just seeing that community that is being built slowly, and that feedback, now we're getting it like towards different users that are connected together. It's awesome. So that's a really big key point that we can share with you guys as a community. Make sure that your deliveries are an important part of your process, and think about a little bit further on not just how many people you invite or how many people you have their attention in the media, but rather make it something special that is going to be valuable for the people that are going to be there, for the user mostly, which is the number one person that you want to have in that room on time. And also, don't make him the spotlight, because some people like it, let's be honest, but a lot of people don't, right? So that's one of my key point. My second one is within the boxes, and I think this is a model that we've been replicating from many other chapters. For example, I know that Post do it in Paraguay. I know that Christian Silva do it in Colombia. I know that there's this other girl, Daniela, I think it's in Peru or in Chile, that does it also. And it's just pretty much a common line that I think has been drawn within our devices, which is how do we deliver it. And for us, I think it shows we're here. The box in which the device is being given is the first step within making that device special for them. We're telling these people, hey, you're getting something totally unique, something that is going to be from the first moment, even from the box, a thing that was personalized to you. We didn't took this out of a shelf and gave it to you. There was something that was made to your measurements, to your likes, to your colors, and really, this is your best gift to you. So as you can see, each of the boxes for you was totally personalized to them according to what they like. And what we did, this is a model that we've been emerging also since last year, and it's how we can make organization more inclusive towards not just technology, but also towards other stuff like art, like all this stuff that can be part of a chapter that is not just the technologies, not just the engineers, not just making a device move, but rather making something suitable in all senses. So we last year run a little contest in which we invited people from all over the country to, hey, here's this opportunity that we're going to deliver so many devices, and you can participate to show us your best drawing, and if it goes according to what this user likes, you're going to be part of it, you're going to be painting it, we're going to give the resources to you, the box and everything, and you're just going to portray your art there, and you got two benefits. You're giving this awesome thing to somebody, and now you are also showing off your art to other people and see how inclusive can it be to help others too. So making art with a purpose, I think is the bottom line of it. So I think that's a really nice point to highlight. And I think the third one and last one, so Miguel can talk a little bit with San Pedro Sula too, is the key associations. For us, this is our first big agreement with a national institution, you can say, and it was really a nice opportunity to get involved in a project like within the Fab Labs. I think Fab Lab is a model that a lot of our users, our members of e-NABLE have had the experience to share with, but it's a nice model that needs to be tweaked a lot within each country that it's applied. The philosophy of it is great, but how you apply it to each country is really different. So it's not a copy-paste model, it's not a thing you'll just go and put it the same way that was being done in the USA towards a country like Honduras. Because let's be honest, we have different resources, we have different necessities, we have even different mentalities of people. So it's really an opportunity to see how you adapt. And for us, it was mostly within, what are we looking within the space? What are we looking to have those machines doing? What are we looking to be the people that are going to be there? Like, what is the type of populations we want to attract? So making a project like this to be their first one, we were hoping that it was going to be for them a nice opportunity to attract people and see that, hey, the Fab Lab is not just a place to, go do your Pokemons or do your coast, but rather also to help people within whatever you're trying to do. And yet, this was one of their first projects. They still have a long way to go, a lot of stuff to figure out and to work around. But hopefully, we're trying our best to set them up to have a project that can be smart-wise towards the population that they have in our country, and not just have a space that is cool and they can take pictures in. So that thing I can resume it within that 3 key points in our country. And I think just one last one, was within the users. These users have been on a waiting list for at least half a year, all of them. And for us, it's a challenge within the funding. And how can we get funding for each of these people that needed a device? And our smartest way to do it is that rather just be pushing to give a device every weekend, rather incorporate them to big projects to which we find funding. So, for example, with this one that we got involved with the Chamber of Commerce, and I think it was the international bank that gave them the funding. We were able to supply these prosthetic devices for a whole batch of 9 people. So that helped us wipe the list of all the prosthetic devices that we had on a waiting list for at least a year, or up to for half a year. So that's like our smart move towards how are we going forward on a waiting list. And this is the way that we tell our people in this currently too, that we're trying to make it. Mostly for those people that tell us that they don't have any resource at all. Because there's people also that are on the waiting list that tell us, hey, I have the money that can make this device for me, and we just covered the cost of making them, which is something that Miguel can tell you guys a little bit about. We, as a nonprofit, just cover the cost really of operation of the machines. And when these people don't have those costs, that's part of what we enjoy doing, which is finding those funding to make the device for them. So I think I give the word to you, Miguel, or you can open the mics also, Jeremy, if you guys have any questions. You guys might feel free to make them.
Cool. Sorry.
Oops.
You're unmuted now, John. I just unmuted you.
Thank you. I want to make sure that I understand the cast of characters. Miguel, your company is Craft 3D, right?
Yes. Yes.
Which is not the same as the Fab Lab called CCIT.
No. The CCIT is something from our government, and Craft 3D it's my company. I'm co-founder of Craft 3D.
And just one clarification. Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, you go.
Okay, I was just going to ask for a clarification. Does CCIT plan to continue doing this on their own? Do they want to continue making e-NABLE devices?
Well, what they opened for us was the space, pretty much. They gave us the space down there in which we can continue partner projects with them. They look for other people that want to do. They pretty much we assist. The resources that we gave to them is our knowledge within the prosthetic devices. They put the resources within materials, the space, and all this. So they tell us, hey, we have funding to make this device. Okay, let's do it, etc., etc. But that's not their main focus. Also.
Are they fairly close to you? How far away is it?
In Tegucigalpa?
Yeah.
Tegucigalpa is our capital, and that's our first. We didn't up till then we didn't have any physical space in Tegucigalpa, or our volunteers there just work within their places or whatever. So that was like the first time we actually had an own space to be working on. So that's where we developed this program, which run through at least I think January all the way to.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
right now. Go there eventually. Right now we are working on some Kuau arms with them. That's important, and I think just for the Kuau, Mike is gonna talk a little bit more about that too.
Okay, just to make a clarification about the CCIT and Craft 3D. This is a model we have adopted for reducing the cost of Walla for operation. Craft 3D gives the space to Walla, and Walla has its own machines, its own plastics, and resources, right? But the space is given to Walla by Craft 3D, so it's something similar in Tegucigalpa. Walla exists in two cities: the capital city, which is Tegucigalpa, and San Pedro Sula. So Craft 3D is in San Pedro Sula with Walla. And it's just like a partnership for making all this work.
So the goal, Jeremy, was that as the model that we find out we were having, it was not really suiting us to be paying for a monthly fee on a space, renting a space to have them there, just to hang out or whatever. But we saw that really the job that we did was focused within the prosthetic devices, so it was project based, So that's why we found out this model with Miguel, in which we can partner up with our machines also to always be running, to always be exploring the technology, and also being updated with everything was really cool, because meanwhile our machines were not being used to prosthetic devices, they can be serving other purpose within teaching, within getting more funding, within other engineering projects. So it was this balance in which also, for example, benefits from the social causes that we're working together with Walla. So we found these 3 pillars. I think Miguel can vouch me, in which we're trying to develop the technology in our country. The social one, that Walla is leading it, the educational one, which Craft 3D is leading to, and the entrepreneurial one. Okay, so we say that we cannot go just with one of it because the other one dies. If we go social, we need some funding. We also need new technology developments to be around it. If we just go in business, it's hard because you're not doing nothing social. You're not doing something new, right? And within education, you're just teaching people how cool the technology it is. You're not capitalizing. You're not giving them a purpose to do it too. So we decided upon these last 2 years to do the three of them at the same. Well, it's been quite a challenge, but it's been a nice experience too.
Great.
Perfect. Okay, so now we'll talk a little bit about the project we have. We had these past months in here San Pedro Sula, Honduras. We worked well. First of all, we obtained some resources from the USA, and with those resources, Walla bought their own 3D printers, their materials, resources for making these prosthetics, and we got the support of a local school here, the Centro Cultural San Pedrano. Melvin, can you talk a little bit about this college?
So yeah,
I believe-
this is a high school that is funded through the U.S. Department of State, if I'm not wrong. So it's one of the biggest reputations, aside from obviously the embassy and other institutions from U.S. here. But we've been since we started WALA in ways that we can co-op together. One, because I'm also a U.S. alumni. I was an ex-Fulbright student, so I have some connections with them. Just the environment that they share within their ideology towards technology has been really great. So last year we applied to a program called Glasswings, which is I think it's a mostly Central American-based nonprofit, and they open some scholarships up to 5,000 grand. Up to 8,000 grand to social projects. Who won the second place, and that's where this program that was called Enabling My Space in 3D was. So we co-op with the Centro Cultural San Pedrano that Miguel was telling you about, and that's where we started a project. The project, yes, was delayed a lot. Here, due to all the political situation that we had last year on our country, it was hard to get the funding. It was around all stuff, so we had to start up till March this year. But I think Miguel can tell you guys a little bit more about that it had, why we did do it, and the video also.
Okay, so just to go ahead, Melvin, I am on my phone, so I sent you the link for you to have ready the video, please. And
Okay.
well, continue with this project. We got the volunteers from the Centro Cultural San Pedrano, and we taught this I believe there are 11 graders, or they are almost done with the school, almost entering their college or university. And we taught them how to all this process from gathering the information of the users, future users of these prosthetics, gathering information, even how they want their prosthetic. Maybe talk a little bit about that. It's not like a generic prosthetic. We try to personalize each one and to the how the user wants it, right? We taught them all the process of 3D printing, designing in CAD. We use a model made by Jack Buchanan, which is the Kuwau, which in my opinion is the most advanced in mechanical design prosthetic right now, designed for 3D printing, right? So we went with this. We had the opportunity to make the beta testing of this design, and we had excellent results, having greater strengths and when grabbing even large objects or small objects, what we call the grip. Jack Buchanan implemented a new mechanism, a latch mechanism, which could enable the prosthetic to lock in a position, and then the user could grab something, and it didn't matter if he moved his hand or whatever, he stayed with his hand closed. So that was very cool too. We experimented with some new materials which are based on PLA but a little bit stronger, so that made the prosthetics a lot more durable. And we taught all these to these kids, and we got one of the most valuable resources, which is the human resource, right? We got these volunteers, and we made the prosthetics for 4 users. At the beginning, there were 5 users, but for the date of the event, we could only give 4 prosthetics. And and it was a really great experience. And the kids, not the kids, the teenagers who learned all this were really like how do you say, like touched or connected, or like they made a bond with the final users. And right now we are in the part of calling them and having the feedback if the prosthetic is working fine for them, and looking for new fonts for making this the 2nd edition and the 3rd edition, because this one was the 1st edition of the Wallops. I'm sorry, I didn't mention the name at all. The name of this project is Wallops. Okay, and the intention of this is to replicate it along all the country and outside the country if possible. And at the same time, we have like the idea in mind that with this experience we got mastering this new design, the Kuau, helping Jack Buchanan to make more manuals and more videos, tutorials for the rest of the people throughout this work, to have a really easier experience when adopting this new design. And I believe Melvin, actually this video is like the other one, is not translated to English, but we don't need words to like appreciate all what happened. Melvin, can you share us your screen, please?
So just to clarify, what Miguel is describing, John, is that what you've described before as the e-NABLE Learning Hands program? Are we talking about the same thing? Not the same thing. Okay.
I'm gonna talk about that one a little bit later.
Gotcha. Okay.
But just to give a little bit more feedback on what Miguel said about the Guadalap's model, this is our new approach towards making devices. How can we tackle more than just making a device, but rather involve all the people in the process to take something at the end home that is going to be valuable from it? Not just the physical stuff, but the knowledge that they're taking to their mind. And as Miguel was telling you guys, you're gonna see how cool the transition it is. We, with these people from Tegucigalpa, we were working adults, right? With these people from USAID, we were mostly working with teenagers. So we consider them like the mini Walla team, right? That's what we were trying to do. Get them to extract all the knowledge that they have from us and get involved and get passionate about it the way we did. Really, how Walla started was about, it was really a combination of many different experiences that we've been having, the way that Miguel teach it back then last year, a lot of stuff that I learned from him, that we learned from many other people in our country. And what I tried to do, and I piloted last year here at Virtus with the kids in e-NABLE, was create this little 5 to 6 week program in which, through making a device, you could teach all these parts of printing, designing, involving them, giving them a purpose. I think the key factor of it is that kids don't see what they go to do to the classroom as if they're being compromised, or if they're doing it for you or for the school. They know that whatever they do or they stop doing is going to be at the end affecting somebody that is in need, and not even in their own city, in any part of the world. So that gives, as Miguel was telling you guys, that gets the kids involved. That gets them on that spirit of, how can I improve this? How can I make it better? How can I stay an extra 20 minutes, an extra hour to be ready to finish this as soon as possible? Because I want to give it to the person, because I want him to use it. So it's really, really our goal. We are narrowing it down now that we piloted twice. Now, 3 times here in the U.S., with the Tegucigalpa one and the Ursula one. And now we're trying to offer this as something that we can partner schools in Honduras, schools that maybe have more resources with public schools, how to work together as a team, benefit the kids from the knowledge that they're given, and also benefit the people that is going to receive it, and at the end, benefit us that we're helping every time more on top of a waiting list. So it's like a three-part process that all at the end are winning, right? So I'm gonna show you the video so you guys can take a look. Here it is, and I'll make sure the link for it also after you guys stop watching it, Jeremy, so you can share it. It's a Google Drive.
La experiencia en WebLabs ha sido muy divertida, ha sido mucho aprendizaje en este mundo de la tecnología 3D. Me ha ayudado a conocer cómo puede transformar la vida de la comunidad y darles una herramienta a estas personas que la necesitan y crear un impacto en su vida. En nuestro país aplicamos la tecnología de impresión 3D para la creación de prótesis que son estéticamente personalizadas, de bajo costo y accesibles para distintos usuarios con el fin de brindarles una nueva esperanza en sus vidas.
Okay, let's get into my Sorry about that, guys. I think that's my fault, brothers. I have a roommate that is streaming the World Cup. That's why.
Maybe if you share the link and someone else shares his screen, I'm sorry.
I think it's almost finished, so let's see.
If you give us the link, we'll put it in the notes.
Yeah. And Melvin, do you have the sharing settings on that file so that it's viewable by anyone with the link?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it is. I'll share it.
Yes.
There, I share it with you guys. You wanna just stream that last part, Jeremy?
Sure, I can do that. I'll turn on my screen sharing here. About there.
I say it never gets old.
Yeah, nice job.
Really good, right?
Right, fantastic.
So, you know, I think as Miguel was saying, that video makes it everything worth it. That's what we really put all our effort on, and that's good. And I think that's a feeling that is common within all of the enabled community, and we really feel blessed. I think it's a really great blessing. And you know, I just want to also publicly here to the SPC meeting, just say thank you to all those collaborators that I think were showed at the end of the video that were making this all possible. As Miguel was saying, Craft 3D, e-NABLE here, we did a lot of work within it. Has gravity, also working it, well, among a lot of other people that make this possible for us, you know. I think the biggest take is for me that, you know, it requires, I think a lot of smart moves within seeing what people want to partner with and see how can they get involved within not just giving money, but also giving their whatever resource they can provide and working together within it. That's how we've been slowly getting on top of that waiting list, and that's the way we hope to keep doing it. So I think that's a common thing. And one last thing within me is just the design itself. Mostly thank you to Jack. Really, you guys imagine how that design have opened new doors for us. That was the last link that we need, the designing for. That's one of the biggest challenges that we have been having since we started Walla, you know. Personalizing the flexing, for example, just scaling it 190 and down was not a thing that was working for us. And up to this model, we now can incorporate it to our curricula in the Walla, because we can now give the kids the opportunity to customize every single part of the device, you know, really make every single part of it works toward us. And now with our designers also that we have just incorporated this year, we can tweak the design more and more towards the capabilities and also towards the necessities that people in our country have, and now that we can share that other people in other countries can use too. So that's why we really appreciate the opportunity of, you know, work together with Jack, give them that feedback. And I know we're still missing to give him a lot of stuff that we have promised and we're still working on, but we're part of this process of this device, and we really want Jack to keep, you know, getting that feedback towards making that awesome job that he does with this hit line, you know.
You bet. You know, it's a spectacular, first of all, spectacular regional achievement. I think what you've done in Honduras is more sophisticated than I've seen anywhere else. But it's also a great case of international collaboration. The way you've brought together contributions from Paraguay, Chile, and Colombia, and Rochester, New York, and Jack Buchanan, and you know the handoff on the video 5 minutes ago was also an example of how we're really stitching together a very well integrated network in which people are still just making it up themselves and customizing it to their own system. I think it's great.
Absolutely.
So I think as a one last thing, and that's what you asked, Jeremy, where are we heading to? It's towards this summer, we can enable, what's the name we gave it, John?
Learning hands.
Learning hands. I put it a more sophisticated name to it, more techie, but John didn't like it, so we changed it.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, but really our goal with that program, Jeremy, and well, people, is to keep giving a purpose to what we do. And I think one of the first things I saw since I started, you know, looking towards e-NABLE and everybody in our community, is we have this whole great people around the country and around the world that have access to resources like 3D printers, like materials to print, and they keep printing, you know. And we, I think, find ourselves every day in the e-NABLE Google Plus community, finding people that say, hey, I have these devices, where do I send them? Hey, I have these devices, what do I do? You know, it's hard to see that question. It's hard to see that question unanswered when we yet know that there's still a lot of people in need of devices in a lot of countries that don't have access to these resources. So my idea to tackle it is this e-NABLE hands-on learning program. And how does it work? It's pretty much doing this international thing John was talking just a couple seconds ago. How do we learn? How do we join countries like USA with Honduras or any other country in Central America or whatever, whenever, in which they don't have the resources? You know, we keep making these devices here in the US, and it's okay. It's okay. It's a nice, really educational thing, and also a really nice bonding moment for students, for handathons, for the RevRap Festival, whatever, in which people get to make these devices and see and understand what we do. But yet, we know that it's hard to get these devices to people because they're not fully personalized, right? And it's hard to make that connection that we can get on one-on-one that we do with Walla, that bonding people, not just giving them devices off the top of the shelf, but actually personalizing with them. But that doesn't mean that these devices that are being done here cannot have a final usage. And what we're trying to do is to send them down to our countries like Honduras. And that's where we're trying to do our pilot this July, and make these devices serve three different purposes. First one, an educational one. We have countries like Honduras in which 3D printing is still unknown because, and I remember that we were talking with Jack about this, even here in the US, there's a lot of people that don't know about e-NABLE because they don't have access to Facebook, they don't have access to internet, they don't have access even to media. It sounds shocking to us because we're so exposed to technology every day that we don't even realize it, but there's people that doesn't know about it. And the biggest access that we have had in our country towards knowing about us is, for example, through Facebook. But yet, Facebook is a big access towards the three biggest cities in our country and a lot of the small ones, but yet there's a lot of small ones that don't have access to it, and yet that's where the most necessity of these prosthetic devices is usually. So our goal is to send these devices to those public schools, to those small cities in which they don't have access to anything. And instead of just taking them a pamphlet or telling them with a video how cool it is, sending them a device that they can teach you educationally how the technology works, what is it exactly, and a physical proof of it, a device that they can touch, that they can see, and that they can realize the impact that it has within it, right? So you're serving purpose number one, educational, right? Helping teachers that rather than showing it in a book, they can see it and touch it. Number two, you're putting a device in somewhere that in any other way was going to be totally inaccessible to do it. Let's be honest, it's easier to send a device there than sending them internet or Wi-Fi, you know? So it's easier to put a device and place them there. Then we can map it. We know that we have a device down there. We know that somebody can go and see it and try it for themselves as a beta test thing. And that takes me to my third point. Now you have a device in a really remote area in which these kids are gonna go home and gonna tell their parents, hey, Dad, Mom, I saw this cool device that we have in our school and it's gonna be there. And you know, I remember about this guy that I saw on the street, or I remember this guy in that community that was needing a device. It's just gonna be a device that they can see, that they can see if they like, and also that they can at least try the mechanic under it. And because of the information that we're gonna be sending in each of these packages, they can then contact each regional chapter that is in their country. In Honduras, for example, they can contact Walla. And now we can actually make sure that this is a device that can work for him, that adapts to the needs that it has according its application. And now we can start a process towards getting him a personalized device for him. In this case, a Kuau, in this case, a Pole, in this case, any other device that can really suit him better. So that's our approach to it. We feel, you know, it's a really big thing in which we can really keep giving a purpose, for example, to handathons, in which we can now tell people, okay, make as many devices as you want, because maybe not all of them are going to finish to an end user, but we're going to make sure that all of them are going to be serving a purpose towards education and towards helping other chapters in other parts of the country get to those people that actually they can work with them, right? So I think it's at the end common sense. We really have to put our resources towards making them the most valuable, and also make our makers, the enablers, feel good about what they're doing, right? I know that it's hard for anybody to be waiting to all the time of saying, hey, we're still looking for somebody, we're still trying to get you this device. Rather that we tell them right away, hey, this device is not going to be for our final users, but it's hopefully gonna give feedback to us towards getting to somebody at the end. And then all that feedback, that's the mapping part of this project. We want to know where each of those devices is, right? So pretty much put a tag on it or whatever, and then connect that information back to the makers and tell them, hey, your device is in this school in Honduras, and it's being around this many kids, and here's a picture of it, right? So we're planning to right now even hire somebody for the summer, and it's kind of a cool. We're hiring one of our same users back in the last year, which actually has an amputation and everything. And because nobody wants to hire him, that's our best bet on somebody we can help within our project that has the energy, that has all the qualities. And well, that's our world, that's our reality. It sucks, but we can use it towards our project and help him now also create an impact within other people. So pretty much what he's been going to be doing is teaching other teachers and make that domino chain a continuous thing in which people can keep learning. So I think that's my pitch within the project. It's been an effort of many different people. The feedback that you hear me, that you, John, gave Miguel also, that has been involved in, and we're planning to start it within July. We need for real resources. We're trying to get together with some people from the country to fund it, and really, it's not funding towards making more devices because we already have a community that is making it. It's funding towards logistics mostly. How do we move these devices? How do we make sure that they get to this? So we're trying to be smart there in how we partner with like some transportation companies in our country or some other organizations. And this is a really good thing. Some other nonprofits in the same country that are already placed in these remote areas. And the importance of this is that these other NGOs already have a placement in those towns or little cities. So people already know them. People already have a confidence on them. And what we're trying to do is a co-work with them as we did Crafted, right? We're going to try to give their team members some knowledge within technology. Meanwhile, they'll help us just to place this device somewhere that we know that by our help we can, right? It's just, think about it. We're not going to get to like the most remote area of Honduras without knowing anybody. It's going to be harder. It's going to be more resources. But rather, we can find some international NGO or national NGO that is already there and partner with them and work together. So that's the project. I think much, as I was telling you, we're trying to pilot it for this summer. That will be around July, August. I'm still not sure, but it might be a possibility I can go down there on August, just see what's the impact that this has been having within the first 1 month and a half. But we're still finding the funding for it too. So, but we're excited. We're excited. We feel that we have the right pieces, that we have, at least to pilot it and see if it works in this city in Honduras, which is Ceiba, which is the one that I'm actually from. So I have that little spine of working in it. But also we want to pilot it there to see how we expand it to Honduras, and then that we can expand it towards pretty much the e-NABLE community. How, as I told you at the beginning, not to copy paste it, but adapt it really towards what each country needs. I think that's pretty much it.
Well, it's a great program. From the day that e-NABLE was started, one of our main challenges has always been how do we expand the reach and get these devices into the hands of people that need them. And your program is going directly to that goal. So I think it's wonderful. I get emails very regularly from especially teachers saying, my students have made a bunch of devices. Is there anywhere I can send them so that they'll get put to a good use? And I've actually been sharing with them a description of your upcoming program, and they're very excited about it. They love the idea of the hands going to a good use, even if it's not going to a recipient. The fact that it will help other schools get involved in the program is very exciting to them. So I've already shared your address with a couple of them. You should have some devices coming your way already.
Yeah, I'm going to be in a pile of devices and up here in the lab. And really what we need, I think, is an open call for the community. We need some graphic designers. We need some people that know a little bit about packaging, because what we want to do is like a really nice package in which they can, whenever we ship the information, it can have the device, a brief description of what 3D printing is, and we've been finding some really nice information regarding, I think, was it 3D Hubs, John? Or the link you ship, 3D Printing Universe. Oh yeah, I actually think it was your page, Jeremy. And also, so that's our two main focus. We don't want to make a whole testament in that paper that is going to be with the device, just key basics. what is 3D printing, what is e-NABLE, and the information of the chapter in that country in case somebody needs it. And then we want to send those devices with a one-time trainer. So just give the teachers a brief explanation of everything. You know, we don't want to make these kids masterminds in 3D printing. We just want to put that little spine in them that they can go, that they know that that exists, that they know that they can research a little bit more about it, and that they know that they can help with that just a little bit, a lot of other people within their community too. It's like a basic kit. It's like something small that we just want to accompany the device with.
And instructions for taking pictures and sending them back to the source.
To the sources, yeah. Which we're using resources according to the country. For example, I put in the document that we want to use WhatsApp, you know, as a fast media. And let's be honest, it's because people in our country don't use email that much. You know, they use it just to open their Facebook account or whatever, you know. But WhatsApp for us in our country is like FaceTime or iPhone messages, you know. So it's like, hey, add this number, send this picture, and that's it. You've done your job. That's what we wanted. You don't have to give us more feedback if you don't want. Just want to know where that device it is. Then we can map it in Google Maps or any other site. We know for sure that the device is going to be there. And one thing that I really want to point out is that we want this device not to be like a museum piece in the schools. We want a device that can be touched by the kids. We want a device that can be, you know, handled by them and, you know, interact, and they can tinker around if they want with it too, you know. So that's the interesting part of it, I feel. And that's like a transition that has been happening within the technology itself, you know. Back then, 2-3 years ago, we treated printers as this majestic pieces of art in which it was a high privilege to have them. And nowadays, anybody can tweak with them. So why don't we make them with our devices too, right?
That's great. That's great. Well, if you stop goofing off and get some things done, maybe we'll have something to talk about.
Yeah,
it's an amazing bunch of stuff. I congratulate both of you, your team, everybody, and the people you're connecting with. And I think this video is actually going to be an inspirational model for other chapters who want to think about how to build stuff out.
Yeah. Well, I think we're open to anybody that wants more information. You guys can find us out on Facebook, or just send me a personal image or Miguel, and we will be glad to talk to you guys. And we'll hope to guys see you soon.
And Miguel, you're coming to Rochester next week, right?
Yeah.
Sir. Yes. Really excited about that.
We want to just point out also, John, that we're going to be in the East Coast Rep Festival next weekend on Maryland. So if anybody want to come down and say hi, our focus is to also show off the new stuff that we're doing in e-NABLE. We want to plan to take some Kuau arms with the experience and feedback that Miguel is bringing, and also share some other efforts that we're going to be doing down here in the summer and that we're doing overall. So I think it's going to be a nice opportunity. If anyone is around or is planning to go, so hey, just come down and say hi, and we're going to try to even give a little talk.
So let's just be clear about that. This coming weekend, that is tomorrow, that'll be the 23rd and the 24th. Is the East Coast Rep Festival where in Maryland?
Bel Air.
Bel Air, Maryland. Maria is one of the organizers of that event. Melvin and Mike will be there. You should be there too.
Yes. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I hope you did it.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Great presentation. John, can we include maybe email addresses and a link to their Facebook page somewhere in the notes here so that people have that when I share this?
Totally. Except that I'm not sure I have Miguel's contact information. Gentlemen, I'm giving you the link to the document. If you would put your contact information there, and for that matter, your itineraries, for starstruck viewers who want to meet you in person, that would be great.
Cool.
Miguel, I don't think I have your email, and I need to give you access to edit the spreadsheet. So do you want to give that to me real quick?
Yeah, it's Miguel, Miguel, at riverapineda.com. rivera.com. Rivera Pineda R. I'm sorry. Again, Miguel at RIVERAPINEDA.com.
Okay, I'll give this a try. Huh.
Perfect.
Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it's in the notes. That's a start. But do check out the document. You can correct any of my notes or transcriptions. If you have a link to the Facebook video, or you can make that linkable, you can put it in the document also.
Yeah, I'm adding it right now.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get a recording of this out later on so that we can have others in the community check it out. Thank you very much for presenting today, guys.
Yeah, take us and invite.
John, I think we'll cover the rest of our updates next week, right?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Well done. Man, oh, man.
Yeah, well done.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.